Christmas is a big time for companies, in Hollywood in particular. The holiday season is where they drop Halloween movie after Halloween movie, where they drop Thanksgiving movie after Thanksgiving movie. And even though the trend has been going down, they usually drop Christmas movie after Christmas movie. But on that topic, Christmas movies have kind of been going down recently. The last big Christmas movie that I remember being released was Klaus, and that was only on Netflix. Great movie, by the way. Check it out. It's my personal recommendation that I watch every year. But superhero Christmas movies have kind of been on the rise. Before 2020, we really didn't see many of these. There's one I can think of. But since 2020, there's been a lot, including Spider-Man No Way Home, Wonder Woman 1984, and Hawkeye. It just feels like Christmas movies for superhero movies have kind of gone up over the past 3 to 4 years since Shazam came out, and I'm all for it because I feel like superhero movies are a pretty good medium. Tell it. What better point to tell us a family story than with Guardians of the Galaxy, or a story of heroism and sacrificing the holidays to save others, like with Spider-Man? It's just kind of the perfect medium to actually do that. So yeah. I'm Josh from my studios, and welcome to Christmas superhero movies. Like I said, Hollywood covers these type of movies in very different ways. One of the ways I like to cover them is direct reference. This is basically when a movie will be centered around Christmas, and the main characters will have to go through tribulations about that. The first one that I want to get out of the way quickly is Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. This is basically just a movie with the Guardians as they experience Christmas for the first time and try to make Peter Quill feel like he's back on Earth. Honestly, very sweet movie. The entire movie is about Christmas. I personally don't think it's as good as people say it is. To be fair, though, you can't really take it too seriously. It's just a little tiny movie to enjoy. It's really short, only being slightly less than an hour, 45 minutes. And it's pretty good. Kevin Bacon was fun to see. I like the Guardians, and I just love James. Say what you want about James Gunn, but he understands the Guardians and their relationship to each other. I just absolutely loved that, and I loved every moment of this holiday special. It wasn't as good as people say it is, but it was definitely very fun to watch, and I really enjoyed watching it for what it was. Right, it was a sweet little project. Next is Hawkeye. Hawkeye is the most underrated MCU TV show. It's in my top 3. I love Hawkeye. Hawkeye basically follows Hawkeye, of course, as he tries to uncover a mysterious plot by the Kingpin, and he gets a new sidekick on the way. This is great. It centers around Christmas and family, and the idea of molding into what you're supposed to be. It takes place during Christmas. A lot of episodes center around the relationship and the family aspect, kind of like that Police episode. I just love the idea of a show about Hawkeye being a family man. Hawkeye's my favorite character in the MCU, and it's really cool to get to see him become a family man and get to do that own thing. The show is great. There's like 2 episodes I kind of don't like, and I think that it could have had better action scenes, but this show is just great. It's a solid 8 out of 10. It's incredibly underrated. I'm going to link in the description and probably in the end card. I have a video on this I made last Christmas. My last Christmas video for last year was a video on Hawkeye. Highly recommend checking that out. It's not as good as my current videos that I make because it's an older video, but who cares? Hawkeye is just great. It really is. It's something that's incredibly underrated. The suits were cool. The action was decent, although not great. Kate Bishop is one of my favorite female characters ever. I really enjoyed her, the way she has to develop, and unlike other female characters I know, actually became interesting via her own limelight, and the actor portrayed her very well, I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe not my favorite casting in the MCU, but one of my favorite. It's honestly a lot of fun to watch Hawkeye and Kate Bishop interact. I also really liked Kingpin as a villain. Haven't seen the Hawkeye series, but he lives up to the hype. Even when he was only in 1 episode, the actor was great. And honestly, he's the only reason I'm kind of excited for Echo and also Daredevil. I'm excited to see him in Echo because, oh my god, his interpretation was really good here. This is the perfect superhero movie to watch during Christmas. It's perfect for Christmas. The only issue is that it's a little long because it's literally 6 hours long, so it's not really a good one and done. But if you're someone who's okay with watching TV for 6 hours, maybe you want to split up between 3 days, 2 hours each, you can do that. I highly recommend it. I'm probably going to be rewatching it really soon. But on to the next one, Iron Man 3. This is perfect if you're somebody who's just I want to watch a 2-hour movie. Perfect. Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 basically follows Tony Stark as he's getting past that PTSD, and trying to just celebrate his family. Basically, Iron Man has PTSD because of everything that happened during the Battle of New York, and he's kind of like creating these suits. He goes crazy, and he has to stop people from his past from hurting them for his family. Movie's great. It's honestly incredibly underrated. It has a 79 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is criminal in my opinion, because it's not as bad as people. It really isn't as bad as people say it is. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, so it's really not a bad one. But if I were to watch the movie, I would recommend you watch the assembly cut. It's basically just a cut of the movie that was made. It's 3 hours long, so it's incredibly long. I don't know if they ever released it. I'm not certain, but if they did, I think I might have seen it once. Maybe I'm going crazy, but I feel like I saw the assembly cut at least once. I recommend checking it out. A little editor's note here. I recommend checking it out if you haven't seen Iron Man 3. It is, in my opinion, a little worse than the main movie. But if you have seen Iron Man 3 and want to rewatch it, go ahead and watch the assembly cut. It's pretty good. It's good for Christmas. It's Tony Stark, amazing actor, right? Robert Downey Jr. threw it out of the park like usual. But then there's good supporting characters like John Cheadle. Whoever acts Pepper Potts is great too. I love the kid. I just like this movie in general. Very, very good movie and incredibly underrated. Incredibly. But flaws, like the villain is horrible. I really don't like him at all. And funny enough, this video was supposed to be on Iron Man 3. I would have made a full Christmas video on Iron Man 3, but I kind of realized mid-scripting, it would have only been 4 or 5 minutes. Because there really is no way I can talk about Iron Man 3 for longer than 5 minutes. Including intro and outro, it would have been like a 7-minute video, of course. But yeah, it's just underrated. It's a decent Christmas movie. I personally think so. I think there are better options for the holiday season, but as a purely Christmas movie, this is the best one you can watch, I think. But yeah, no, like, these three are good, right? Holiday Special is great. Hawkeye, almost perfect. Iron Man 3, great as well. But these all follow the first one, direct reference. So let's talk about Undertones. Undertones is when a movie is based on a theme like family or relationships or love or sacrifice, and they'll set it during Christmas. A good example of this is a movie like Wonder Woman 1984. This movie is terrible. I don't recommend checking it out. It's awful, and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's the worst DCU movie. But basically, the movie follows Wonder Woman getting over the loss of her boyfriend she met for like a week. And she knew this guy for a week, and she's still thinking about the guy 20, 30 years later, which is incredibly unrealistic. Actually, yeah, 30 years later. And that's incredibly unrealistic because you would forget about that person after a few weeks. But this movie's terrible, right? It has a Christmas scene at the end, and it sets during the holiday season, and it's about love. So it fits here, but I do not recommend checking out this movie. It's one of the only movies I'd be like, no. Because bad movies are bad, but they're fun type of bad. Iron Man 2, good example. It's a bad movie, but it's a fun movie. Thor Dark World, bad movie, but fun movie. Like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3, bad movie, but fun movie. This movie's just kind of bad, but it's also boring. It's like, it's almost unwatchable. The fight scenes are boring. The suit was kind of unnecessary and felt there just to sell toys. They did Maxwell so bad that he's being recasted in the new Superman Legacy. Like, he was just not done well at all. And the villains, I think the villains are weak, but by the way, I'm gonna put here, if you are sensitive or if you're not allowed to watch stuff like this, I'm gonna give you a little warning. But there's like, the reason how Wonder Woman gets Trevor back, like, family undertones, right? How she gets Trevor back is by him being like, she sees him. He exists, but she sees him over a random person's body, right? So this random person's just out for 48 hours, which is, something heroes would not do. But I understand. Name of love, whatever. It's realistic enough. But then she has sex with Trevor. And in this guy's body. And I saw this movie 2 years ago on a plane, and I still can't forget about that. It's like, I feel like this is just like a kink one of the writers had. And they were like, yeah, we'll put my kink in a movie. Mind you, I never talk like this during in videos, but I kind of have to say that just because, understand, never watch this movie. It's horrible. It's really freaking bad. And, yeah, no good fight scenes. There's nothing notable in this movie that I recommend watching. It's just creepy. No thought was put into any of the motives of the characters. Bad guys are terrible, and it's barely Christmas themed. Don't watch the movie during the holiday season, and especially don't watch it, period. But then we move into Shazam. Shazam is a great movie. Fury of the Gods disappointed me. That movie's like a 6.5. This is an 8.5 out of 10. This movie's great. Basically, it's about Shazam learning to embrace his family and learning to become a hero and embrace those around him. And it's set during Christmas. The entire fight scene, most of the movie centers around Christmas and the holiday season. So this is a much better movie to watch during. This is actually the movie I recommend watching the most during the holiday season, because not only is it better than Iron Man 3, it also themed more around Christmas. The reason that I didn't include it in the last section is because it's not themed around Christmas. It's just there are heavy Christmas undertones in this movie, so of course I'm gonna name it here. But basically, positives of this movie. Made a review. I'll link that. That's what I'll be honest with you. My second video ever was a Shazam review when Fury of the Gods was coming out. I'm not gonna link that video below because it sucks. I'm pretty sure it's actually deleted as well. But I'm planning on making another review for Shazam shortly because I want to re-talk about that movie and kind of compare it to Fury of the Gods. Do a scene comparison or something. Basically, this movie's really good. Fight scenes are decent. Characters, actors. I don't like Levi as Shazam, I'm going to be honest. But I do like the kid actors. They're all done really well. This movie doesn't shove any ideals in your face. It doesn't shove its thoughts in your face. No social commentary. Just an interesting movie. Good characters. My only issue with it is the villain. I like the villain and how it ties back to Shazam and the Wizards, but I don't like the villain. The villain's boring. The villain, it's more not of a villain, but an antagonist. The antagonist is somebody who drives the point. A good example is the villain is somebody who basically drives the point, and the antagonist is the person that's working against the main character. They can be different. The Spot is a good example. Another good example would be Kingpin. Another good example would be Sandman in Spider-Man 3. He's an antagonist, not a villain. Or he's a villain, not an antagonist. But yeah, no, back to Shazam. The villain's just not very good. Doesn't really intrigue me. Doesn't leave me with any mystery. Doesn't even fight on his own for one fight scene, which is a decent fight scene, but I'm just generally not interested in that character. And I love Shazam, but my one issue is the villain. It's a great Christmas movie. If you haven't checked it out, make sure to check it out. By the way, I'm sorry to say it, I don't have a review of any of these movies that I'm talking about in this video. Only Hawkeye, so I'll look at the description below. But yeah, no. Then there's Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, this movie takes place during the holiday season. It's about family. I don't want to talk about this movie too much because I'm going to be making a review on it, hopefully during the winter. But it's absolutely amazing. It's not a great Christmas movie. I think it's too long. It doesn't really have that many undertones. It's more about family and sacrifice rather than actually leading into a Christmas undertone style movie. Positives, Toby and Andrew are great. Fight scenes are great. Villain is great. Main character is great. Development is great. Action is great. CGI is okay. Flaws, I think Act 2 is slow, and I think Act 3 is a little rushed. But this movie is a solid 9 out of 10, right? It's really freaking good, and I love it. I don't recommend watching it during Christmas, like I said earlier. It's just not a good Christmas movie in my opinion. I don't recommend it. But honestly, if you're just looking for a good movie to watch and you don't know what to watch, Spider-Man No Way Home is an amazing example of what to actually watch. It's, for me, it's my favorite Spider-Man. It's easily the best Spider-Man movie of all time, but it's also my personal favorite Spider-Man movie. Except for Across the Spider-Verse, obviously. I've probably seen this movie 4 or 5 times. I love it. 3 times in theaters. I saw it once when it came out, once again the next week, and then I saw it the director's cut or whatever that came out. I love this movie. I really do. And I'm hella excited for Spider-Man Tom Holland's next entry. Because it's probably going to be a little more Christmas themed due to the fact that he's on his own. That's going to be really cool. But, yeah, no, Christmas undertones, right? Hollywood is just big on Christmas movies in general. And I know this video didn't really talk about the Christmassy aspects of these movies too much. And it's a very different video from what I usually create. But overall, Hollywood, I think, needs more Christmas movies like this. But, yeah, I'm just from my studios. If you liked this video, I'm going to link my Hawkeye video in the description below, and I'm also going to link a video on on IGN because it's the most similar video I have to this one, even though this video is brand new. Analysis is like something I don't really do very often. Yeah, if you like this video, sorry for that voice crack, like and subscribe, hit the bell. Check out my streams. I'm streaming when this video releases on. This video should be releasing Thursday night or Friday morning. So this video is either coming out the 21st or the 22nd. Make sure to check out. I'm probably going to be streaming. I'm either finishing up Arkham Origins or beginning Super Mario Bros. Wonder. But yeah, I'm just from my studios. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and stay electric, guys.